Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
I had a question from one of our viewers. Hey Herc, I've been a fan for a long time and now I'm glad to see your channel picking up. The question that I have is, what is the difference from what a paid lawyer can do for you against a regular appointed lawyer? What the difference is, a paid lawyer is gonna put in more work. You know what I mean? He's gonna have somebody in his office do the footwork that an appointed lawyer wouldn't do. They don't have the resources. A paid lawyer could investigate evidence, could go after DNA evidence, could go after potential witnesses. They can go over financial records. You know, a lot of times the government or the state beats you up in court because you don't have the resources they have. You know, they got an office dedicated to locking your ass up, and if you got one person basically doing all your research and they're also repping 10 other cases because they're a public pretender, you're fucked. So, you know, and even a paid attorney, you know, a lot of times they know that you're locked up, you can't do shit. So they try to get all they can from you and just do enough to make it look like they did something. You know, I know guys who paid lawyers $150,000 and still got 15 years. The lawyer took the money, you know what I mean, and ran with it, you know, and that's the game, because they figure, what are you gonna do? 15 years later, they're gonna be off into the wind, and it's gonna tell them what your situation will be. So even a paid lawyer could fuck you. So you gotta really do your homework, and if you do hire somebody on the street, have somebody out on the street who can also check his motherfucking ass, because these motherfuckers are scandalous, man. And once they get the money, they figure, you know, what ramifications are there? There's snakes in the motherfucking hole, man. You can't think that just because you paid a motherfucker, he's gonna do the work. Now, I've seen people who had good attorneys beat life sentences in the feds, which is hard, you know, but they had resources and they had somebody who was willing to fight for them, and they had money. You know, these motherfuckers spent millions. See, a lot of guys who made millions, they don't have the money set aside to have the defense that they need in order to beat their cases, so they're fucked. You know, they get locked up and fucking, maybe they have 50 racks, 100 racks, and, you know, they done sold millions of dollars worth of drugs, and, you know, they're through. Or they done robbed a couple banks and they have no more money left. But if you got a good attorney, you don't have nobody snitching on you, you know, you can basically go over a lot of the evidence and get somebody to do the footwork. It's, you know, a paid attorney can make it happen for you to some degree. You know, don't get me wrong and think that a paid attorney is going to get you off any faster than a public pretender, because there are some public pretenders who do their jobs, who basically will put in the work for your case. But what they do is they pick and choose. See, the prosecutor, the judge, your public pretender or lawyer, they all know each other. So they have these in-chambers meetings where they talk and decide who's gonna get what case. And if you let me win this one, Bob, you know, you can get the next two. So there's a lot of deals being made behind closed doors. It ain't got nothing to do with how guilty you are. It has to do with, it's just a trade. Hey man, you give me this one, I'll give you the next one. You know, this guy, we really wanna see him, you know, get smacked upside the head. The other guy, you know, not so much. So it's a lot of politics that goes in you being sentenced that you don't even realize. So, you know, do your homework on your attorneys. And like I said, man, just try not to even get locked up so you don't have to deal with that bullshit.